one or the other, a series where we take variants from any class and see if they either live up to or exceed expectations or are below par and not worth the time and effort. Today, we shall be comparing the critical burns of Fire Cactus to the aggro crowd control of Power Cactus. Who will come out on top? Let's get started. The Fire and Power Cacti are variants of the Cactus class and can be obtained through opening sticker packs. Starting things off with the Fire Cactus, whose weapon functions almost identical to the stock variant outside of a few changes. Her weapon fires at 150 rounds per minute and has 10 ammo per clip before needing to take a lengthy 2.5 second reload. Each shot fired can deal 20 damage for a normal hit and 28 damage for a critical hit, which actually showcases her first unique trait in having a critical hit multiplier of 1.4 as opposed to 1.2 like most variants, which makes landing critical hits much more rewarding. However, unlike most variants, her damage output does suffer noticeably at range, with it going down to 15 damage for a normal hit and 21 for a critical hit at mid to long range. Additionally, each time the player hits an enemy, they will be set on fire, taking 4 damage every 0.75 seconds for the next 3.75 seconds. This can allow her to either obtain kills after death or keep track of where enemies are going, which will be quite useful as a sniper. We then turn to the Power Cactus, whose weapon functions much like the stock and Fire Cactus, but at a faster pace. The weapon fires at 175 rounds per minute and also has 10 ammo per clip with a 2.5 second reload. However, each shot fired can deal 23 damage for a normal hit and 27.6 for a critical hit. This drops down to 18 damage for a normal hit and 21.6 for a critical hit. When hitting enemies within close proximity of each other, Power Cactus can deal chain lightning damage, dealing 15 damage for the first connection, 5 damage for the second, and 3 damage for the third, granting her both high crowd control, as well as an ability to deal with pocket scientists or goats. Now when comparing the two, both variants have their advantages in some cases and disadvantages in others. For Fire Cactus, her fire damage over time makes it easy to chip at enemies if your accuracy is not up to scratch, as well as having the potential to kill them after death. Her higher headshot multiplier also makes landing critical hits much more rewarding and in a sense allow her to bypass the damage lost in comparison to stock. However, her smaller clip size and longer reload duration does mean that enemies will have a larger window of opportunity to take you down during reloads, and also means that over a longer period of time, you'll be dealing less damage. Her damage drop-off also forces her into closer engagements than normal, which for a cactus can often leave her defenseless and more susceptible to getting ambushed. Now when we move over to the Power Cactus, things look relatively the same in terms of weaknesses, having a smaller clip, longer reload, and damage drop-off. Though instead, Power Cactus only loses a slight amount of damage initially up close in comparison to stock, with 23 damage up close and 18 from afar. Whilst she doesn't get fire damage like the Fire Cactus, she does get 2 statistics that grant her an immense advantage over both Fire Cactus and most other variants. Firstly, the chain damage. Having this trait on a sniper makes Power Cactus able to use it not only effectively, but also take on multiple enemies without having to put herself at risk. Though whilst this is nice, this is not the primary reason why Power Cactus has such a strong advantage, though it is very good. The main reason as to why Power Cactus has such a distinctive advantage over most other variants is due to her fire rate being ever slightly faster. Whilst going from 150 to 175 might not sound like much, having the ability to fire much quicker actually makes the world a difference for her. Especially since when in comparison to stock, her damage numbers are only slightly less at just under 10% less damage per shot up close. This also means that the damage drop-off isn't as severe since you can play aggro much more easily with Power Cactus, and even then, you still have the chain damage that you can constantly abuse, which actually makes Power Cactus one of, if not the best electric variant in the game. It's essentially, do you want to sacrifice reload speed, ammo capacity, and direct damage output in exchange for fire damage and higher crit multiplier of the Fire Cactus? Or do you wish to sacrifice all of those exact things, but for a faster rate of fire, more aggro play style, and high chain damage that can easily deal with pockets? It's because of the flexibility that a small increase in fire rate grants and the intense chain damage that I believe the Power Cactus to be the better variant out of the two. The main factor being that whilst Fire Cactus does get some nice benefits for what she sacrifices, Power Cactus gets much more valuable benefits in exchange for sacrificing ever so slightly less. Be sure to come back for the next episode in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.